When I run into someone who's just been promoted to a senior level in HR, the first thing they say is, I want to be more strategic. So first of all, you have to know what is strategic. So in the business world, there's an actual definition for it. You don't wish to be strategic, but strategic is multiple year. It's a cross-function, so if you just do something within a function, it's not strategic. It impacts one of the major business goals or objectives, and most importantly, it requires external, looks at competitors, it looks at the external environment. It's good to be strategic, but tactical, which is doing day-to-day things, are important too. So it's usually a combination. So if you want an organization to be more strategic, here's some of the things you want to do. First of all, realize that most don't have a strategy. If you ask people to name their strategy or they have a written HR strategy, 20–25% actually have one. Some have a PowerPoint presentation, but that's not a strategy. So a strategy includes forecast, it includes telling people what's likely to happen, it tells you what to do, but it also tells you what not to do. So strategy gives you focus. Be careful, you're not trying to create a document, you're trying to create a way of thinking. You want everyone in HR, all people managers, to be thinking ahead. By telling people what's important and prioritizing, you save duplication, you save time, you don't have people wasting time, and certainly you save cost. The next step would be to look for the best strategies. So I don't recommend you look at the best HR strategies or strategic plans. First, look at the best business strategies. And then you'll identify there's certain world-class characteristics. So it has a forecast, but it's an accurate forecast. People actually use the strategy to make decisions. If you could have a strategy and not have it utilized. So you want to make a list of those world-class characteristics and say, this is what a good business strategy looks like, and therefore a good HR strategy would be very similar. Start with the business goals, start with business problems, certainly use the business language. So I recommend, if you're going to be strategic, get the minutes of the chief executive's meeting, look at all the words in there, and don't use any new ones. So if they call it sales or revenue or whatever the things they talk about, use their language. Try not to come up with a new language. Be careful of the word align. One of my favorite stupid words is align. So HR people use it more than almost anything other than business partner. I want to align with top management. Well, there's no way to measure align. So what you have to do is sit down and say, okay, what are the things that executives want done? And you show them the activities, the actions, the results you're going to produce. They determine if it's aligned, but you can't determine it. And there should be a direct connection. So if you have as a strategic goal to increase sales, but you don't have hiring, training, or developing salespeople in your plan, you're probably not going to do a good job. Ask the general managers or people in operations, what's the low-hanging fruit? What are the simple things to start with? So your plan should focus on some simple things and then move to complex things. If-then scenarios. So an if-then scenario requires a manager to say, if this happens, then I would do this. And it says, well, I would spend this money, I would allocate these people. So it puts plans in action. Another is alerts. So you can write a plan forecasting things, but it's a year out. Most people don't think about it. But alert is like a smoke detector. It reminds you, oh, by the way, it's coming tomorrow. So having an alert system that warns managers a couple of weeks or a month that this is going to happen. So it's like IRS. You get your tax form in January, but you don't really do much till April 14th. So you need an alert at the start of April. The best practice I've seen is KLA-Tencor is a famous organization in the computer manufacturing area, and they have a process where they literally shut down the company and plan for an entire month. And that shows, one, how important strategic planning is, but two, HR is an integrated part of it. It's not a separate part. And it turns out that 99% of all HR plans are developed at a different time frame in a different room than the business strategic plan, and that's a mistake.